था चित न धराए, हनुमत से सर्व सुख नाए। संकट काटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलवीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, जुड़ता ही भाग्य महान सुख होय। जोया पारे हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, ये चेरा चाहे राय महादेवा। पावन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूपा। राम लखन सीता सहिता, हृदय बसा सुर भूपा। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय। ओ सीताराम 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 सीताराम। श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। सीताराम 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 सीताराम। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। श्रीमय रामचंद्र की जय, महाभारत संपूर्णार्थ की जय, अनुपुट हनुमान की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतों की जय। Jai Gurudevs, as it is Thursday, we sing the Paramahamsa Sri Swami Vivekananda Chalisa. If you are following in the book, it is page 44. Shamavarana Mukha Chandraman, Chandana Gulaba Sugandha, Karuna Kripa Ki Murti, Shri Vishwananda Bhagavan, Shri Vishwananda Bhagavan, Shri Vishwananda Bhagavan. Gurudev, Gurudev, Shri Vishwananda Gurudev, 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 Shri Vishwananda Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, Jai Shri Vishwananda, Jai Jai Bhaktana Ke Rakhvaya, Jai Ho Prabhu Hridaya Ke Vasi, Tum Shintita Nilaya Nivasi, Dina Bandhu Ho Tum Swami Adantam Kinatum Antarayami, Hey Prabhu Tum Bhakta Hitakari, Dasa Kinata Orahi Swami, Tera Juna Janamali Eo, Morishastama Danya Kieo, Mata Pita Ke Raja Dulare, Bhaktona Ke Tumakanta Sware, Sakya Ki Sangha Puja Karaye, Yagna Mansa Hora Partha Sanaye, Mahavatar Ka Dasha Mile, Jivan Ka Dasha Mile. Gurudev, Gurudev, Shri Vishwananda Gurudev, Govinda, Gurudev, Gurudev, Shri Vishwananda Gurudev, Desha विदेश हरियाचा कराए भक्तन के मन प्रेम जगाए नारायण मंचा दिए है रामानुजाचार्य के प्रिया है हे प्रभु तुम अनंत अविनाशी घट घट भाष्य अंतर्यामी तुम्हारे पवित्र चरित्र के बेरे नाटक एक सुनाओ मैं मंदिर मंदिर जुमन बनाया महामंगलेश्वर नाम पाया याचकार के दर्शन दिए हो पापों को नष्ट कर गया हाय भक्त संप्रदाय आधारी भक्तों के जीवन को सवारे हिरण गर्भ को प्रकट किया है रोगी को आराम दिया है कृष्ण के वचन बताया गीता के ज्ञान बातों को समझाया लीला तुम्हारी अनंत है स्वामी निज चरणों में वास दिलाए भक्ति मार्ग की शरण दिए हो प्रभु भक्ति के ज्ञान दिए हो जप कीर्तन स्मरण करने से इतल को अभ्यास मिलेंगे आत्म क्रिया के तुम अधिकारी सब कुछ प्रभु तुम नारी शुभ संतान वरदान देते हो यार को प्रभु तुम कहते हो अभिषेक पूजा देश दिया है मन को पवित्र मार्ग दिया है नित्य से प्रभु प्रेम बहाकर शीर गिरिधारी संग लिंग गुरुदेव गुरुदेव श्री विश्वानंद गुरुदेव 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 श्री विश्वानंद गुरुदेव नाचन चाकर भक्ति मार्ग प्रभु सबको दिखाकर युग युग आते हो तुम स्वामी प्रभु तुम हो दीन हितकारी हनुमत शिव मात को दयाए वैष्णव धर्म प्रभु तुम निभाए विनय विमल विज्ञान तुम स्वामी तुम हो प्रभु सद्गुरु हमारे शरण करता किए निशीर विवेक दिखाए परमहंस प्रभु तुम कहलाए एकदशी का भात पराए शालिग्राम के पूजा कराए रूप तुम्हारे अनंत है स्वामी जय 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 श्री विश्वनाथ तुम्हारे गुरुदेव निलय निवास अब तुम हो मन के प्रकाश कुंभ मेला में तुम आए साधु संग भी प्रभु नहाए वृंदावन में आश बनाए प्रभु आए बात कौन कौन चाहे कलयुग में गुरु श्री विश्वानंद सच्चिदानंद और ब्रह्मानंद इस भक्तों को सेवा लगाए चरणों से कभी दूर न बताओ काम क्रोध मद मोह मिटाकर प्रेम भाव मन में समाकर ये इस आत्मा की है प्रार्थना और इस हृदय की है गुरुदेव गुरुदेव श्री विश्वानंद गुरुदेव 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 चली स गुरुदेव की जो कोई patta dikaye Sadgurudev ke prema se unke charana mil jaye Guru Vishwananda Shri Giridhari Lakshmi Narayana Narasimha Deva 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 Gurudev Gurudev Shri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Gurudev Shri Vishwananda Gurudev Sadguru Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu ki jai
Ajnananidam dasya jnana jala shalakaya chakshurum minitam yena tasmai shri guruve namah. Jai Gurudev, everybody. Welcome. For many of you, it's your first time here, huh? Yeah? It's a nice temple. You enjoy? Yeah, nice. That makes us all very happy. Very nice. So I just wanted to quickly share why everyone came and offered water to the shaligrams. Because if you don't know, we are addicted to shaligrams here. And whenever, I don't even know how many we have now, about like 3,000, I think. But later we can do parikrama, and you can see all the shaligrams in the back. But whenever any shaligram comes, we always give them like proper respect, because each and every shaligram is the Lord himself. I mean, clearly we were all expecting Guruji to come today. The Frankfurt airport had a different idea, but clearly in his stead, he sent 2 shaligrams, one of them being 18 kilos and the other one being 8 kilos. I don't know what that is in pounds. And so they were supposed to come next week, actually, so it was a miracle they came today. So they arrived today, and every time we have new shaligrams, we give our respect. Everybody can do abhishekam on them. And then every Ekadashi, so Tuesday morning, we will do abhishekam on all 3,000. So if you're still here then, you can also participate by offering water to them. So I just wanted to share. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. I want to start a new name for Swami Tulsidas. We're going to call him Shaligram Swami. If we say it enough, it will stick. In a couple 100 years from now, everybody will be like, do you remember Shaligram Swami? But, if being here, I think one thing you're going to very quickly understand is that there's just a tremendous amount of love for Narasimha, for the shaligrams, and for Tulsi. I think a lot of times this devotional aspect is not something that's really valued in the world. In the world, there's a lot of meditations, there's lots of mindfulness movements, there's a lot of self-analysis. But this idea of devotion, this idea of giving everything to the Lord, that's very, very a niche. It's not something that you can find in every place that you go. It's very, very rare. That's why in the Gita, Krishna says that maybe 1 in a million will come to me. So in Kali Yuga, the path of Bhakti is something that's given to only a few souls. So if you find yourself here, if you find yourself being gravitated towards Guruji, his presence, his love, then consider yourself lucky. because that devotional aspect is not given easily to every soul. Recently, I had the grace of going to Ayodhya with Guruji for the Ram inauguration. And about a month prior, I remember I was speaking with Guruji and I said, Guruji, the Ram inauguration's happening. How exciting. Are you going to go? And at this time, there was only 7,000 invitations given. So imagine there's 1.4 billion Hindus, and only 7,000 were handed out. So you had to be somebody quite great to be able to get it. A movie star, a big Swami, a big politician. That's the only way you're going to get it. And Guruji said, no, what am I going to do there? My Ram is in my heart. Ram is in the hearts of all. It's not in a deity, in a murti. My Ram is in everybody's heart. So I said, okay, leave it, and didn't bring it up again. And then about 2 weeks prior, all of a sudden, Guruji gets super excited. And he's like, I'm going to Ayodhya. I'm going to the inauguration. And I was like, can I come? He's like, okay, come. I was like, okay. And as we were going there, the thought kept arising in my mind, why did Guruji say that he does not want to go? And then all of a sudden get super excited about going to this inauguration. And I think a little bit of that answer lies in what I experienced prior to Ayodhya. Because I was in South India, I was teaching there, and something really interesting started to happen. Every day, this feeling of Ram started to get more and more and more in the land of India. Right? I would ride a rickshaw. The rickshaw driver would say, what are you doing on the 22nd? What do you planned? Everywhere I go, I would see Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. And so all of India was getting super excited about Ram. And you could feel it in the air. And when we came to Ayodhya, that's when Guruji answered. He said, you see, the reason I am here is because of the devotion that people have for Ram. I decided to come because there's all of this devotion and love for Ram. And that's what's drawing me to be here. That's why I have come, for that love. And it was amazing as the consecration was happening, as the helicopters were flying and the petals were being thrown from the planes. There was not one person who did not have a tear in their eye. Right? Everybody was crying. Guruji was crying, just tears flowing down his eyes as they were singing the name of Ram. And this was all before the actual consecration took place. And when the consecration happened, Guruji went and saw the deity, but there was no tears, there was no emotion. And then as we were walking back, he was telling us, he said, yeah, the statue of Ram, he's nice, it was good darshan. But he said, look at the word that I'm using. I'm saying the statue of Ram. He said, that statue will not become a deity till the people in Ayodhya get to visit it. Because at that time, the only people that could have darshan were these 7,000. Right? So these movie stars, these, athletes, these politicians, they were the only ones that could see Ram. And he said, Ram's not in the deity now. Because at that time, you could not come to Ayodhya unless you had a ticket or you walked. Because there's no plane, there was no cars, there was no trains allowed in. So all the people that were there were either having the ticket or they had walked to Ayodhya. They had spent days coming there, or the people that lived there and chanted the name of Ram every day. And as we were leaving the temple, there were thousands of people waiting. And Guruji was sad. He said, do you see these people? They're the ones that truly love Ram. They're the ones that should be getting darshan of Ram. And when they walk into that temple, that's when Ram will come alive. And it's the same. He kept reminding us, why do we bow down to the deity? Because we know in the Vedic tradition, Narasimha is in everything, right? He's in the pillar. He's in you. He's in the microphone. So why do we pray and bow down to him? It's because of all of the love that we show for him. That's what makes him so present. So we bow down to also honor the Bhaktas. That's why our tradition is called the Hari Bhakta Sampradaya. The devotion that all of you have for him is what makes him come alive. Without you, he's just a statue. Without love and bhakti, you could find him anywhere. But what makes him so present is that love that is shown towards him every single day. That's what brings him alive. That's why when you look at him, he's so present because of the love that we have for him. And so in this trip in Ayodhya, the common theme that kept coming up is the greatness of bhakti and the greatness of the bhaktas. And to look at the lives of bhaktas, to look at how they approach the Lord, it's such an inspiration. Right? Because in the path of devotion, give everything to God and then you get everything back. Right? It's very simple, but it's also extremely difficult. There's once a disciple who went to his guru he had darshan of Krishna. And so Krishna came, and he was looking at the disciple, or the devotee, and he said, hey, whose house does that belong to? And the guy said, oh, it belongs to you, Krishna. It's like, oh, okay. Whose children do they belong to? And the guy said, they belong to you. And said, okay, whose car does this belong to? They belong to you, Krishna. And then Krishna looks and says, well, if everything is mine, what's yours? And the man says, you belong to me, Krishna. Right? So when we have Krishna, we have everything. When we have the Lord, we have everything. That's the beauty of bhakti. Strive to gain the grace of God and you get everything. Right? It's the hardest and the simplest path. All the other paths are very strenuous. In the path of bhakti, there's only one thing that's required. Give everything to God, and he will give you more than you can imagine. When I was in Vrindavan, I was staying with a few guys, and this guy had a deity, and he was praying, and he gave some fruits and nuts to the deity. He offered the fruits and nuts. And then afterwards, Guruji came to the room, and the guy said, oh, Guruji, do you want some prasad? I just offered to my deities. So Guruji's like, okay. So he goes and he picks up the nuts and he eats it. And as he's eating it, he said, these nuts are stale. He's like, what you offered to the Lord, this is stale. He said, this is what you give God? This is what you offer to the deity? That explains why your life is so miserable. Because if you give this, what do you think you're going to get back? And it was such an important reminder. That moment, I went to the Vrindavan sweet shop and I got the most expensive sweets. I was like, okay, what is the most expensive thing you have here? I'll take that, thank you. It's funny, but I'm telling you, the moment I started to do that, everything kind of changed in my relationship with my deity. Right? Like everywhere I go now, I'm like, okay, I don't have so much money, but I want to get him the best. And the more and more I do that, the more and more I see that actually anything I really want, I get. It's weird. It's hard to explain. If I think about wanting something, it's automatically given. If I need to accomplish something, it's already done. And so this is the simplicity and the beauty of bhakti. Give everything to the Lord, and he will give you more than you can imagine. And so during this time here, I encourage you to emulate the devotion that Shaligram Swami has for the shaligrams. It's going to stick. If we say it enough, it's going to stick. to ask Guruji for one thing, which is to help you purify your heart so you can feel this love for God. And when you have that, you have everything. So, Jai Gurudev.
Vitala
Narasimha Maza 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 Narasimha Maza Me Narasimha
Narasimha Maza 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 Narasimha Maza Me Narasimha
Narasimha Maza 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 Narasimha Maza Me Narasimha
Oh Vittala Maza 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 Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza
Vittala Maza 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 Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza
Oh Vittala Maza 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 Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza
Vittala Maza 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 Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza
Narasimha Maza 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 Narasimha Maza Me Narasimha
Narasimha Maza 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 Narasimha Maza Me Narasimha
Narasimha Maza 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 Narasimha Maza Me Narasimha
Narasimha Maza 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 Narasimha Maza Me Narasimha
Oh Vittala Maza 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 Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza
Vittala Maza 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 Maza
Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza Vittala Maza 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 Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza
Vittala Maza 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 Maza
Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza Narasimha Maza 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 Narasimha Maza Me Narasimha
Narasimha Maza 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 Maza
Narasimha Maza
Me Narasimha
Narasimha Maza 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 Narasimha Maza Me Narasimha
Oh Narasimha Maza 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 Maza
Narasimha Maza
Me Narasimha
Vittala Maza 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 Vittala Maza Me Narasimha
Oh Vittala Maza 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 Maza
Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza
Oh Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza
Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza
Oh Vittala Maza Me Vittalaza this is exactly why I'm addicted to the shaligrams. Because, you see, the shaligrams, they are swayambhu. That means that they themselves have decided to come into material existence. They are the Lord. In His choice, His desire, He has come. And so the shaligrams represent how much the Lord will run to us. And when we are overwhelmed by His love, we must automatically reciprocate. So the spiritual path can be very difficult. We all know that. It's difficult when we put all of the responsibility upon our own shoulders. But if we focus on the Lord and how much He loves us, how much He does for us, like Swamiji was just saying, then automatically that bhakti becomes self-manifested, self-reliant. And so each and every shaligram has decided to come here. And now it's got to the point where they just come themselves. Like, seriously, I don't even know. I don't even know where they're coming from. Like just the other day, some of the Chinese devotees brought a few shaligrams. I was like, wow, it's amazing. Like, they're just popping up out of nowhere. And it shows how much the Lord will run to the bhakta. And actually, this is what I love about this temple, is that each and every murti, each and every deity represents that. How much the Lord runs to us. All right, so let's go through them very quickly. So we have Jagat Janani Lakshmi, the big Lakshmi in the back. Lakshmi, Ma, she always runs to her children. Many years ago, someone asked Guruji, I don't feel close to the Divine Mother. How can I get close to her? Should I do puja? And Guruji said, yeah, sure, if you want. But just think of her. She is your mother. She will always be there for you. She is with you right now. And so the Divine Mother, and we'll talk about Kali, Prabhalakshmi, and Navadurga. We'll talk about them in a moment. But Ma in general represents the one who will run to us, who is always there to support us. Even when we're bad children, she is there, always. If we go over to Rukmini Panduranga, you all know the story of Panduranga. He's the one who supports his devotees. We have the gurus, Ramanujacharya, Mavatar Babaji. Ramanujacharya was Adishesha himself. You know the big snake heads behind Narasimha? That's Adishesha. He's an expansion of the Lord. He's a Nitya Suri. That means his soul has never been bound by Maya. And yet he chose to come into this world to pass bhakti onto us, to show us the greatness of bhakti, the mystical experiences of bhakti. Mavatar Babaji, he's still alive, 5,000 years old, in the Himalayas, Guruji's guru. He easily could leave, but he has chosen, he's given his word, his promise that he will stay in this world until the last soul enters Vaikuntha. Of course, we have Tulsi. Tulsi also is Swayambhu, right? You see next to the Tulsi Murti there, you see the Tulsi plant. The Tulsi plant is Swayambhu. She is self-manifested. She grows when she wants to grow. And if you've ever taken care of a Tulsi, you'll know that. She'll grow, and then one day she'll just leave her body. Why? Because she's taken certain karma from you. She has given her life for you. And then, of course, there's Guruji. Guruji, at any moment, he could just leave his body and say, cool, I'm done, I'm out. But is that what he does? No. Matter of fact, he is struggling to come here. I mean, with such a great guru who can do so many great miracles, who has awakened bhakti into so many, it is usually our duty to run to him, isn't it? And yet he's the one who's constantly flying around the world. Like, seriously, I don't even know. I can't even keep up with everywhere he's going. I'm just like, oh, he was in South Africa, and then he's in Ayodhya, and then he's there, and he's there. Like, even actually in a couple weeks, he'll be back in India or something. He's constantly traveling, constantly, to be with all of the people that he loves. And then finally, Paranitya Narasimha. Narasimha in general, of the Dashavatar, he is the one that represents the one who surrenders to the devotee the fastest. He looks big and scary up there, maybe. I don't know, maybe. He doesn't to us, but hopefully he doesn't look scary to you. But anyways, he's up there, but still he's the one who's the sweetest and the most merciful one. Prahlad never once asked to be saved. And there was so many times his life was in danger, and he never asked, never once. You want to know why he didn't ask? Because the Lord already answered his prayer before he even asked. He already saved his life before he could even ask. And that's what this temple stands for. Every single murti Guruji has chosen to represent, to show us how much the Lord will look after us. We don't even need to ask. And then Paranitya Narasimha himself, the original murti, Guruji materialized him 12 years ago. He is the epitome of Swayambhu, the epitome of self-manifested. Materializing out of Guruji's heart. He definitely did not come because I prayed for him. This form of the Lord wasn't even known to this world. To quote Guruji, only a few souls had even seen this form, but this form had never been worshipped in this world in all eternity. Imagine. So, who am I to say, oh, this great form of Narasimha, please come? I didn't even know this form of Narasimha existed. And yet he chose himself to come. And finally, these three Devis here, we got Dakshineshwari Kali, Prabhalakshmi, and Durga. That's why you all came. Tomorrow will be the inauguration celebration of these three murtis. But actually, these three murtis, they've been traveling a lot, especially Lakshmi and Durga, and Kali. So originally, the inauguration was supposed to be in the other temple, the small room. It's so small. If you haven't seen it, come over. We'll show you the temple for Ma. But it's in the other building, the ashram. But tomorrow, we're 900 people signed up to come for the inauguration, and we can't fit 900 people in a small room. So you know what Ma did? She had Guruji give the idea, why don't we do the prayers in the big temple? Because originally, everyone would just walk into the temple, see her for 3 minutes maximum, and have to leave. But of course that made Ma sad. Everyone has come to see her. She's like, no, I want to come to my babies. Because understand, no matter how old you are, you're still her baby. Many years ago, we were eating dinner with Guruji. And, if you've had his darshan, which I'm sure you have, there's those moments where his eyes become like the cosmos. And he looked at everyone and he said, I'm older than all of you combined. Imagine that. The soul is eternal, and yet Guruji is older than multiple souls combined. I can't comprehend such a reality. And so no matter how old we are, we're still his little babies. No matter how old we are, we're still Ma's little baby. And so she organized that she should come over here for the inauguration. Here, Kali, she was inaugurated by Guruji in 2008, actually, in Denver, Colorado, and she was there for about 6 months or so. And then she went to Laguna Beach, where Swamini Janani, back there, she worshipped her and took care of her very diligently with lots of love for about 12 years. And then after that, she went to Washington, and then from Washington, Kali has come here. Prabha Lakshmi there, Guruji inaugurated her in 2016, also in Denver, Colorado. And then from there, she went to Washington, and Washington to here. And when Guruji was here during the inauguration, 4 months ago, you know what? It was literally 4 months to the day that the inauguration of their temple will happen. 4 months ago, Guruji was here. That's crazy. It feels like years. Anyways, Guruji was standing next to Paranitya Narasimha, and with, my God, it was so beautiful. Tears were flowing down his face. And he looked up to Narasimha and he said, the big boss is here. The big boss is here. And then he turned and he said, look, he gave them a home. And of course he was talking about Kali and Lakshmi. He gave them a home. And he went to Kali and he looked at her and he said, this is your home, no more traveling. You get ready, this is your place now. So the reason, the truth is it's with such a saint, with such a guru in our life, it is actually easy to have bhakti. Because you can see all of the murtis he has chosen. Go to Toronto, it's the Radha temple. It's so beautiful, my God. You can see every form Guruji is attracted to, every form that he has us worship, they represent the same. How much they serve us. And it makes life so easy. So easy. We just have to let them. Many years ago, Guruji was traveling a bunch. And then he came back, he did a yagna, and then he did satsang, and then he had darshan the next day. And he was exhausted and sick. And Swami Paranitya turned to Guruji and he said, I'm going to go tell everybody you're sick so they don't come for darshan. And Guruji looked at him, he said, you shut up. He said, you don't say anything. Because of course, all of us, if we knew that Guruji was so sick, we all know we would not go for darshan. Right? Because we all know we go for darshan, he takes negativity upon himself. Makes him more sick. So out of our love for him, we wouldn't go. And Guruji stopped him. He said, you do not say anything. And Paranitya looked at him and he said, but why do you do this? And Guruji smiled. He said, for the ones I love. I do it for the ones I love. Everything, the Lord exists to have a relationship with us. He doesn't need to take such forms. All of this doesn't have to happen. This reality doesn't have to happen. The Guru doesn't have to come. He does not have to be here. And when I say have to, I mean he is not forced to do anything. The Lord is not forced to do anything. We are forced. We're forced by our karma, our samskaras, our limitations. We force ourselves into certain situations, but they never do. They are free. So the question is why? Why does Guruji work so hard for the ones he loves? Why does the Lord work so hard? Why does Ma work so hard? Because she does. For the ones she loves. And if we remember that, when we come to this temple, if you go to your temple, you go to the Radha temple in Toronto, remember this, that when we go, hopefully, you all feel good, you're all happy, you feel something nice here? Are you all tired? Is this boring? No? Okay. It sounds like it. You all feel good? Silence. Kill me, okay. Good, Jai Gurudev. All right, so you feel something nice, right? You feel something nice when you see Narasimha, right? Yes. But imagine how much more he feels. He's been longing to see you also, because he knows you. Even if you didn't know him, he knows you. And he's been longing to see you. How happy he is to see you. How happy Ma is to see you. That's why she forced herself to be over here. Trust me, it was a lot of work getting over here. Huh? Lakshmi herself is 400 pounds. It was hard, okay? And yet, it must happen. Because she wants to see you. And you can see this is the mindset of a bhakta. The one who wants bhakti thinks, oh Lord, I love you so much. But the one that has bhakti says, Lord, you love us all so much. Lord, you are always serving us. And if you listen to Guruji, he's always saying the same. Look at how much the Lord is serving us. Look at how much Radha is serving us. Look at how much the Gurus are serving us. Because the mind of the bhakta is overwhelmed with their love. So that's why I'm obsessed with the shaligrams. But to be clear, wait, just be clear. Swami Chidananda here, he's the one who sparked it a bit. Because originally we had only 1,000 shaligrams, okay? So as a joke one day I said, oh, we'll have 10,000. And Swami Chitta said, 10,000? No, 100,000, he says. And I was like, ha ha ha, funny. Okay, a few days later, I sort of say the same joke. Oh, one day we'll have 10,000. Swami Chitta's sitting there and he goes, 10,000? No, 100,000. So I was like, oh, okay, it's been said. All right, so it was actually Swami Chitta that forced the desire of the shaligrams. So thank you. All right. Jai Gurudev, everybody. I hope you really have a wonderful time this weekend. Guruji will be arriving tomorrow evening as planned. So he'll arrive around evening prayers. At 6 p.m. tomorrow, we do the Narasimha Stotramala. We'll actually be doing that in a few minutes. It's several stotras and prayers that we do for Narasimha, Sudarshana, Tulsi, the Guru. Why? Well, because we just love Narasimha, obviously. So please stick around. If you want to chant with us, you can find it on the website. If you just want to sit and meditate, it's a great time to meditate. The prayers are, in many different ways, prayers to surrender to the Lord, to surrender to Narasimha and receive his grace. If you have adopted a shaligram, you'll be able to listen to the Sahasranama, the 1,000 names of Narasimha, and one of your shaligram will be named in that prayer. We'll also do Shaina Arti after the Stotramala tonight, so please stick around. But anyways, tomorrow night, Stotramala is at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Is Kirtan and Bhajan. Around that time, Guruji should be arriving. So he'll come, we'll do Guru Abhishekam, and then if he likes, more Bhajan Satsang, and maybe Abhishekam to Giridhari if he desires. Okay? Right, and then Saturday, prayers in here, 10 a.m. for the Mass. Okay? Oh, wait, and then Sunday, we're not done yet. Sunday at 4 p.m.? 4 p.m. is Darshan. Okay? Cool, so we have a lot going on this weekend. I hope you all have a super lovely time. If you have any questions or any desires, anything, please speak to Swami, myself, any of the brahmacharis. We're happy to help. And yeah, I hope you have a super lovely, great time. Thank you all very much for coming. Jai Gurudev.
Shayana Narayana
Shayana Narayana
Shayana Narayana
Shayana Narayana
Veda Parana Narayana
Shayana
Bhavaya Hare Narayana.
Bhavaya Hare Narayana.
Bhavaya Hare Narayana.
Bhavaya Hare Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Sheshashayana Narayana.
Sheshashayana Narayana.
Sheshashayana Narayana.
Sheshashayana Narayana.
Vera Parina Narayana.
Vera Parina Narayana.
Vera Parina Narayana.
Vera Parina Narayana.
Bhavaya Hare Narayana.
Bhavaya Hare Narayana.
Bhavaya Hare Narayana.
Bhavaya Hare Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Om Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Narayana Hari 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 Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Bhavana Charana
Narayana. Bhavana Charana Narayana. Bhavana Charana Narayana. Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Bhavana Charana Narayana.
Narayana 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 Narayana.
Narayana Hari Narayana.
Narayana 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 Narayana.
Narayana
Narayana Narayana Narayana Narayana.
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 Narayana 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 Narayana. आरती श्री नरसिंह भगवान की, आरती पारणित्य भगवान की, आरती श्री नरसिंह भगवान की, आरती पारणित्य भगवान की। 16 बाने चक्र शंख सहित उनसे ओंकार पाए, आकार भेद निरकार भेद परम जाता है। आरती पारणित्य भगवान के, Paranitya Bhagavan ki Arati Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Stamba Pada Prabhu Prakata Bhava Praska Shrilaye Agata ki Karate Bhava Tum Sarapataye Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Arati Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Arati Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Tuma ho Dina Dayala Atari Hita Thai Arta Bhuta Rupa Apata Manamohaka Hansitu Mari Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Arati Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Arati Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Jaya ho Harabhi Prahlad He Vasane ho tu Prema Prata ho Rasu Se tu mana jita sake Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Arati Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Arati Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Gota me pitaya hai Prahlad Aage aakhi gota me Hiranyakashipu ko bhi mili go Tab mujhko bhi de gyan Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Arati Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Arati Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki Arati Paranitya Bhagavan ki Jaya Gurudeva Hare Jaya Narasimha Hare Jai Gurudeva Hare Jai Narasimha Hare Shiva Swaminarayan Hare Jai Narasimha Hare Swaminarayan Hare Jai Narasimha Hare Shiva Swaminarayan Jai Narasimha 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 Tvameva Mata Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Javinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Asatoma Sakamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Mritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Vansamoshitosi Paranitya Narasimha Deva ki Vansamoshi Lakshmana Bhagavan ki Vansamoshi Shri Hare Krishna Lal ki Vansamoshi Satsang Shaligrams Sangram ki Vansamoshi Thakurira Bhavachi ki Vansamoshi Ramanujacharya ki Vansamoshi Sakurudeva Shri Swami Prabhu ki Jai. Messiah. Hare Karma Matyan Tatansa Osatasa Shishani Samaran Samaran Mitsuo Matai Matai. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasarashanaya Dipti Jwalapate Sabhikshabana Humpat. Parashme Parambrahmane Pranjyotishe Swaha. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnai Purnamadasyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hare Om. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Victor Govinda. Govinda Swaram Govinda. Bhaktivatsala Govinda. Govinda Govinda. Govinda. Hare Kavarere. Hare Vita. Ekranam Dev. Anjaninath Maharaj Ki. Sare Bhakta Mandal Ki. Alvar Tirumana Tiruvare Kalahe. Saraya.